Good morning. Someone had asked me how do I do my cube steak, so I decided to try to do a video this morning. Um, so to start off, I have my cube steak right here. I'll see if I can show you right there. And I actually got it out the markdown bin yesterday for $3.20, I think. I'm not sure. I threw the package away, but I usually do my cube steaks. I do it two different ways. One, if I'm going to put it in the gravy, I don't cook it all the way so it will be tender, because the gravy will finish cooking it. I will sear it on high to get a crust, and then I will put it in a pan, set it to the side, and make my gravy as thick or as thin as I want. Albert usually likes it really thick, and it's good with biscuits like that as well. That way, when I put it in the oven, I'll pour the gravy over and put it in the oven. It will finish cooking the steak internally. But I usually cut a piece and make sure it's done and everything. Whether it be cube steak or pork steak, we like it done. Now, I take and I season my cube steak always with, I make a seasoning thing. It's got garlic powder and onion powder and paprika and just different seasoning. And I even put a little chicken bouillon in it. And I shake it up. I make it every few months. So what I do, and then I take and whenever I put this on there, there's no salt in this, so, or pepper, so then I salt and pepper it. And I will bend you down in just a moment so you can see. And I usually put a couple cups of flour in here, and this is what I usually make my gravy out of, because I keep these bags. If they hadn't got wet or anything, I always make sure they haven't gotten wet. And I keep them in another bag tied up on the other side of it that you can't see. And I use them to batter chicken in and stuff like that. That way there's no mess, you just throw it away. So I set that to the side. Got that from my grandma, my mama, and them when they used to make chicken and stuff, and that's what I did. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to try to bend you down. And I'm making squash, onions, and zucchini. I already got them cut up right here and ready to go. And I got my biscuit pan over there, and everything's ready to go except my buttermilk. And I keep it in the refrigerator so it can stay really cold. Okay, so I'm going to try to bend you down there. Do remember, I'm recording this, and I can't go back and fix anything, and it is live. So if I mess up, just work with me. I'm really trying, and my tripod come, so it's easier to bend down and all. So here we go. There you go. I think you may be able to see that. I'll try to keep everything right here in this area. All right, so what I usually do, I wash my hands. And I have not washed them yet. Well, I washed them earlier because I wiped down the kitchen. And I got a towel right here. I got a clean towel. And I'm sorry I don't use gloves. I know a lot of people on YouTube uses gloves, but my grandma, my mama, and their grandmas and mama didn't use gloves, so you know, if you don't like me not using gloves, don't eat my cooking. So, simplest way I could tell you. So I start out with my salt, and I sprinkle liberally, to taste how much salt you think you like. We like things kind of salty, to be honest with you. So I do one side, and Albert likes it, cube steak is good pepper. And I usually check, I got cube steak in the freezer, but if I'm going to the store, and I had to go to the store for cat litter, so I just so happened to check the markdown, and this was in the markdown. It was family size pack. See how many pieces I got for $3.20. Now I got my seasoning, and I just toss it up a little bit because sometimes it clumps up, and I just sprinkle it liberally. And there's no salt in this, so not going to hurt. Sprinkle as much or as little as you like. And it seasons your steak really good. Now, I usually take and rub mine in. All right. Okay. Then I usually turn them over And do the same thing to the other side. That same thing. Now I've got pork on this hand, so this time I use this hand to season it like I did the other side. Like that. And then I'll go through this. Now I can massage it in on this side. So now I'm going to push that over with my arm. If you see a fly here, the back door's open. We usually don't run the air or the heat, and the back door's open, so no telling what you're liable to see. We live in the country. We do have animals, so that's just life. And I just saw a fly go by my head, so anybody that's lived in the country knows you live with flies equally. So my house is clean. I assure you, if you don't believe it, come and see. Or ask for a tour. I'll give you a tour of my house. But I take my cube steak then, and then I want to put it in my bag, and I want to turn it over a couple of times. I don't know if you can see that, but I turn it over a couple of times. Then I set it to the side inside the bag. Then I do my next piece, and then I set it to the side of the bag. Then I do my next piece, and I set it inside. The whole time you're leaving your cube steak in the bag. Don't take it out. You just want to get flour all over it before you tie it up. And I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to step back here and let my grease heat. You want your grease on about maybe a medium high to start with. Then when you put your first cube steak in there, you sort of turn it down to a medium low. Because we're cooking this all the way through. Now, if we were just searing it, you would do it on a high completely. Now, this, I'm going to take and fold this up. I'm going to do a quick little wipe up with it. And I'm going to take it to the trash. Okay. Now, I'm going to wash my hands again. And I know sometimes you can't see me and I'm off camera, and I'm sorry. That's just one thing to do about that. Okay. All right. Now, I do not need, I'm going to wipe this counter off again. I do not need this. So it's going to go put to the side. Okay. Okay. Now do you see I got all my cube steak in my bag? Make sure there's no air in the bag, because the bag will pop with air in it. And still never trust the bag. And then I just hold it like that, and then I just fluff it up. That should be good. Now I'm going to set it to the side. Now we'll get me, I usually would put this in a bowl with a lid on it, but today I'm going to put it on a platter. Let me get my paper towel and a fork. Just a piece of paper towel that'll catch the grease down there. All right. Now my onions and peppers and stuff, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to take you off the tripod. I'm going to take the tripod with me. And I'm going to see if I can show y'all some of this stuff. But do remember, I'm doing this by myself. Now, whenever I brown stuff, see, I'm going to use the meat grease off of that whenever I fry my steak, because it'll be seasoned. And I'm going to put all this in here. See? In this boiler. And I'm going to take this to the trash and put it in the trash too. Okay? Alright. Now I'm going to do my best to set y'all back up again. This time I'll set you so you can see. Trying to find an angle that you can see how I fry. The good thing with this tripod, you can basically stick it anywhere. As long as you can get a good leverage on it. And right now I'm trying to utilize the dish drainer, which is crazy, isn't it? I think y'all might be able to see there. Now my grease is starting to get hot, but what I usually do is I wet my finger. Nope, not hot. If you sprinkle just a touch of water in it, a lot of times you can take a barbecue skewer and stick it in there and the skewer will boil at the end, but I'm not going through all that. So now to this, I just liberally pepper these because they like them peppered. And then I just liberally salt them. Excuse me. Alright. And I get me one of these spoons like this, and I get a little bit of my hot grease out of it. You don't need a whole lot of this grease. This grease is used grease I kept in the refrigerator, so it's already seasoned. I think it was chicken grease, but I usually strain it. See how clear it is? I strain it, wait till it cools, and I set it in the refrigerator. I'm gonna turn this on high, and it'll tell you when it gets hot, and you want to just keep your. And sometimes I use sesame oil. They like it when I use sesame oil on them too. And you just want to keep turning them. They'll do their own thing. You don't have to worry about it. They don't have to be pretty. I mean, they're going to be good. That's all that matters. Okay? So, I'm going to get me a fork out. I usually keep that there, but I usually keep it over there where the squash are, but I'm trying to show y'all, so I'll leave it there. Okay? And I hope that y'all can see me. I'm really hoping so. I was trying to think of a better way I could do it, but I can't. As I said, I will get better as time goes along, so just work on me and please understand. And you don't want to put, yeah, this is about to get there. You don't want to put cube steak into grease that's not hot because all the flour will just wash off of it. So there again, to go back over what I got, I've put a cup and a half of flour in just a used bag, and I've got I season my meat with paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salted liberally, and salted pepper liberally, and I've dusted it with flour, and then I left it in the bag, and then I've just held onto the bag and shook it up. And we're just waiting for our grease to come to temperature. I got my oven preset on 420. I've already sifted my flour and got my salt out. All I need to do is get my buttermilk out. And of course we're having rice, as always, back here. It's already steaming. I made it fresh about 20 minutes ago, and it's been setting, so it'll be done for lunch. I'm cooking a bit early today, so I can do a video. And this is kind of our quiet time when no dogs are barking and nothing crazy going on. So, see, this is already started. And you don't want to cook these till they just fall completely apart. You literally just want to toss them in the onions and the seasoning. And I can smell the grease that I used before. It was either pork chop or chicken grease, as I can smell it. It really smells good. Let's see if my oil is ready. Yeah, I think it's right. Yep. I usually just come and get a piece of steak out of the bag, and you see how floured it is, and I lay it down. See, it's sizzling, and I never overcrowd anything. It's usually 2 pieces, and I fry it in my no stick. And I'll see if I can put you over here so you can see everything. I'm trying to put you back without knocking the whole world down. I am still learning, so please understand, I'm still new to this, and I will get better. And I usually wipe my stove down 100 times. Now let me explain to you about my blue tiles. We have dark blue towels like this that Albert bleaches and put some Odoban in. Those are towels we use for cleaning. Put down on the floor when it's raining. As you see, I got one in front of the sink right here. And we use the green ones and the yellow ones as bath towels. And I buy them from JCPenney. Usually they'll send me a coupon, and I usually buy 25. And the coupon is usually 25. I think free shipping, like $74. See that? There's our rice. Steamed, ready to go. I cooked 2 pounds of rice, as I've told people before, because every day I cook 2 pounds because we have 4 pigs, and the pigs absolutely love rice and dog food, and I put bouillon in it. I buy bouillon from Walmart in really big containers, like 8-pound containers. Online, chicken bouillon, Noyer chicken bouillon. They don't have the beef in the real big containers online, but they do have the small ones, and they're cheap. You get if you add them up, you get probably 4 pounds for $10. So I buy them. You don't want to turn your steak too early. You want to let it get a crust on that side, and it's frying slow. And this is about where I want it to be, because I don't want it overly done. See what I do with that. And that gets done, I'll just move this completely outside and set it on the saucer. And I usually put everything in bowls, but today, since I'm doing a video, I'll leave everything done. Oh yeah, that's done. That's as done as I want, because it's still hot and it's still cooking, and you actually want it to have some squash and onion flavor. You don't want to cook all the flavor out. So I'm taking this now and moving it over here, and I'm just going to grab a plate. And I'm through with that and leave it to the side. Now I'm going to work on my cube steak. And see if it might be ready to turn. Yes. I can turn it. See, it's got a little brown. And you may turn it 2 or 3 times. There you go. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. There you go. And I'm not sure if y'all saw that or something, but it looked like a car warranty was trying to call me. If so, I'm sorry. I have no control over the phone. I wished I did, or I would have them never call. But this is looking really good. Now, sometimes when I get to this point here, I will slide those 2 around, and I'll just lay my fork to the side. Always shake it off. You want your access shaked off. See? Now I add another piece, so it can cook like that. I'm going to turn this up just before I get to the high button. I'm going to wash my hands again because I got a little flour on them. And behind the scenes here, I'm going to go ahead and set up for my biscuits, because they'll be coming up very soon. After I do the gravy, we'll do the biscuits. And I'm going to go ahead and set up for my gravy. I know you can't see me. Still here, I'm just setting up, I'm putting pepper and all my seasonings in the bowl with some of my flour, about a half a cup of flour. And then I add just a little bit of bouillon in it, maybe a half a teaspoon. either beef or chicken, just whatever will flavor. It doesn't really matter because your grease is flavored, so it's gonna do good with that. Now let's see if we can turn this. No, let's leave it there for a minute. All right, you just gotta wait patiently. And let's see, I'm gonna move this over and get my biscuit stuff ready because we're gonna do gravy and then we're gonna do biscuits. And the biscuits are just like my rest of my video, my biscuit video it's literally just gonna be the vegetable shortening I always use. I always just buy the name brand because it's the same thing as any other brand. I mean, it's nothing special. So. And this is why I had to clean so much carbon off the bottom of my things because I fry a lot of food. And we eat a lot of cube steak because believe it or not, cube steak is not expensive. Most stores, when people don't buy their boneless pork chops and stuff, most stores will run it through a cuber and reprice it for something else at a less cost. I mean, I'm not sure how much this was, but it was really $3.20 for a family size pack of pork cube steak is good. And I always buy the cube steak because it's always good. And you fry this after you see that it's done, and I can see it's almost done in the middle now. You fry it to whatever crispness you like it. Albert likes it really dark. And Mama does too. He likes it when you bite it, it has a crunch. I'm going to turn this up a little bit, not quite on high, because I want it to get a little crunch on it. And this is going to be quite a long video, but I wanted y'all to see in depth. So, let me see if I can bring you over here so you can kind of see. I don't want to drop my phone, and I don't want to cut the video off. See? See? Okay. And I hadn't done too many videos lately because I haven't felt too good. So, but that's just life too. What do you do? What do you do, right? My left foot has been bothering me really bad. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it. It's still got a ways to go. This one probably can turn. Yeah, it's got a nice crust on it. And sometimes I just rotate them because sometimes some of your skillets are hotter in one place and not as hot in the other. So. And it's just a waiting game. Right now I have my heat in my oil just about on high, but not quite. So. Now I got my gravy stuff in here. This is a half a cup of my self-rising flour, and this is probably a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of, I put beef bouillon because I like to make gravy with it, and this is going to be our gravy. And I just use this after I take that out, and we use that oil that's in there, and I'm going to put this in there and brown it. You want to brown it till it's not clumpy anymore, and you want to just keep, and if you keep mashing and stirring, eventually you'll see. And I just add water as I need it till I get it to the thickness I like. But like I say, Albert and Mama likes theirs thick. So when you put a clump on a biscuit, you practically pick the biscuit up with the gravy on it. But that's that. That's just set to the side for now. Oh yeah, see, that's done. That's a little bit longer to go, but this piece is done. I think this is cool enough. I can set it here. So I just let it drain and I lay it on the towel. But that piece is done. Let's see, I'll move this around. I'll shift it around. I think this piece is done too. Yep, that piece is done too. Yep. And you can tell it's done by when you stick your fork in it, it sort of gives away a little bit. Now I'll get another piece of steak and I shake it in my bag. Because whatever's left over of my flour, and you want to make sure it's straight out in your oil. And whatever's left over, I'll wash my hands. Whatever's left over with my flour in my bag, tomorrow I'll leave it sitting here on the counter. And tomorrow I will put it in with the pig slop. And it'll make, with the dog food and the rice and stuff, and it'll give it sort of like a biscuit texture. So. That's looking good. I wonder how big this other piece is. Oh yeah, I think I maybe ever get it in there too. This is my last piece. I think I could go ahead and get it started right there. You just want to make sure they're flat on the bottom of the skillet. You don't want them stacked on top of each other. You have to excuse Mama. She's on the phone with her brother. And they talk every morning and every afternoon. Now see, this is the flour I have left over right here, just that little bit. And I'll just take and tie it up like this. And I'll put it in the corner of I'll throw it over there. And I'll use it, like I said, tomorrow. Now, see how good that looks? See how crispy it is. Yep. And this piece is looking like it's getting there too. Yep, you just want to keep them moving just a little bit, just enough to say you moved them. Now remember our squash and onions, our rice is already ready, so that's what he's going to put the gravy on, I'm sure. Because he wants the gravy on the side. He doesn't want the gravy on this, because he said he's going to make cube steak biscuits. I don't know, it was his decision. I don't eat it. See, this piece here is looking good. It's gotten solid, so. Alright. Now see, what I usually do is while I'm doing this, I can make biscuits and do the squash, so I usually do everything at one time, but since I'm videoing, I want to show you how I usually do it. How my meal comes together. And just doing it like this is not a, I'm usually in here rumping and bumping. But this is a lot slower process. And this grease needs to be turned up a little bit more. I don't know why. Not wide open, because the eye is wide open, but, and sometimes it's just like that. I mean, sometimes you have to turn the eye higher, so I did move it too high, just because I could see that it wasn't frying fast enough for me. But this steak, let me get a knife and I'll show you. Now this is the cheapest piece of steak in the store they have, I promise you. And see, you just cut it. See? Isn't that pretty? I just want to check this because it looks like it's done, and it is done. Alright, we're going to turn her over so she can start cooking too. That'll be good. You see all the crumbs that's coming off that? That's good. That'd be in your gravy. So I always at the end of the day, if I fry or cook anything, I strain all my grease. I let it sit on the stove till it gets cold, and then I'll remember or Albert to see it out, and he'll put it in the refrigerator because he knows I don't waste grease. And then when it gets down to there's just no more using it at all, and it's there's no more cleaning it because it gets to that point, and you can tell by just look. I mean, it'll start looking like motor oil. I mean, this is relatively newer grease. I think I've only used it a couple of times. But then I take it and I put the whole boiler of grease on the stove, and I'll take half a cup of plain flour and mix it in, add a little seasoning to it and mix it up to the flour and stuff, add a little water, then I'll pour it into the pig slop. And boy, they love it. They love it. And then I've never put pork in their food. It's just that it's the grease off of it, which is more breading than anything. I wouldn't dare give any animal the same animal. Oh, God knows. Even though they're not above and beyond eating each other, believe me. This is looking good. Just move it around so we find a warmer spot. And see, when everything gets done, I'll just put it in bowls. I have all those bowls with lids. I'll just put it in there with bowls and lids, and Albert will come home. More than likely come home and dig through it. He usually does. I've videoed that before just to show you. He'll come through and have to taste everything that's cooked and ready to eat, even though he doesn't eat till late in the afternoon after he gets through feeding and taking care of all of his animals. Excuse me. I'm going to keep checking. You don't want it to burn on one side. I think while these two are browning, I'm going to turn them down and let them do their thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and do my biscuits. I can do it without breaking everything in the house, so we'll see. Now, I've showed y'all the biscuits before. So today will just be do it. So, got that out for the gravy. All right. Of course, my buttermilk was in the very, very, very back. Isn't that just wonderful? Shake it up good. Now I've already sifted this and made my way up because I was trying to cut the video as short as I could, but you know how that goes. It doesn't always work the way you want it. So for about 10 biscuits you need about that much. I can't tell you what that much is. I would say it's probably a half a cup of that, and probably a cup and a half of buttermilk, and probably a half a teaspoon of salt. So, and like I said, I start mine off, even though I've made toast on this for me and Mama. I usually add just a little oil, like that. Okay, and I lay that there. Now there's crumbs in this, so don't think nothing about it. It's just crumbs from the, I need a little bit more, I think. Yeah, that's good. It's crumbs from whenever I did it, because I only use this oil to make biscuits with. And it's just hard for me to give measurements because I'm so used to just doing it, so. Oh, you can't say sorry. I'm going to see if I can bend it down without dropping it. There you go. See how shaggy it is? It's coming together, but it needs more. Okay, and look at my steak. Steak's fine, doing good. See, this is what I usually do. I usually would throw everything on and just do this. And and you want to squeeze. That gets all that stuff going in there to make it rise and get fluffy. So need a little bit more. Yeah, just a little bit to pull it together. See? And just try to get as much off of your hands as you can. You don't have to worry about it. I never worry about it. And then you want to go around and you want to push. Push, 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 push. See, it sticks to your fingers, get a little flour on it. And you want to push this down firm, sort of pack it. You want the dough to get stiff. People say, no, the less you touch it, you know, if you're rolling them out and cutting them, that works like that. Like Burger King and Hardee's and places like that, their doughs usually come with all the stuff in it, like self-rising flour, and they just add buttermilk. That's all they add to it. They roll it out and touch it as less as possible because they want a biscuit they can get out quick to the people and get it done so that it'll all be worth it and get it over with. So. And it works. It works great because they got it set up like that. I'm going to use my hand that I haven't got nothing on to turn my steak. Okay. So now I want to dust my hand with flour. And I usually use this as a measurement. And I just roll. You want to push, push, tuck under, push, and if it gets sticky, just touch it to the side. See? You want to roll the ball right there like that. See? And don't push it down yet, just sit it there. And then you just push down, get your next one. It doesn't all have to be, you know, it's going to come together like that. Push, push, and if the pieces off your hand, get them off your hand as you go along. And you want to put it right up to it. I know you can't see me, but I will show you because I'm showing you the technique I use right this minute. And there again, pinch off a piece that you think is about the same size. You never go, well, if you cut them out, you get them the same size, but it just, and there again, if I wasn't videoing this, I would have done made this pan of biscuits in a couple of minutes, literally. And I usually make extra biscuits because Betty likes biscuits and the babies have. So, and I got to ban that other goat either today or tomorrow, but like I told you, I had 100 appointments and just hadn't felt very good. So here we are. That one's done. Okay. All right. See, there we go. Nothing to it. Once you learn, I mean, there's nothing to it. Albert makes very good biscuits at Burger King, but he can't make biscuits at home. We've tried that. It doesn't work good. Because he's used to doing it Burger King's way or McDonald's way, because he's always made them for them. And it's completely different. They pour everything out on the counter and make it. They mix it in a giant bowl and pour everything out on the counter and make it like that. Because I've trained many of people to make biscuits at McDonald's. Okay. All right. I think the steak is about done, and so am I. You see the last little bit, you just sort of push it together. And I usually make Mama a tiny biscuit. She doesn't eat a lot of stuff. So I usually make one about this big, and it usually works out right. So. And she'll eat it if it's little. So she calls it a baby biscuit. She always says, make me a baby biscuit, so I make her a baby biscuit. See? And then let me move this out the way and wash my hands, and I'll show you how to do it next. I wet my hands, and I usually take and push them down with a wet hand and just look for dry flour. So I'm going to wash my hand again. And as I go, I usually try to clean up my kitchen. So I want to take this steak up because it is done. So you can't see me take it up. So I know that I got to move the camera. But it is done, but I will show it to you. Alright. Here's the steak. Right there. I'm going to put my biscuits in here. Alright. And they'll go in for about, I don't know, 10 to 12 minutes. And then I'll turn them on the broiler to get them straight. Let me do a quick cleanup and we'll do the gravy. Let me put my buttermilk back in the refrigerator. Okay, now I'm going to take you back over here again. Try to set you back up like I had you, because I want you to see the gravy technique. If I can do it without knocking all my dishes down in the dish drainer. That's what I'm using to hold my, hang on, I want to turn this up a little bit. And you want to take and sprinkle your flour and your seasoning mixture in. Now I go ahead and fill this bowl with water. I fill it up with just lukewarm water, or it can be hot water, cold water. And you want to slowly stir. You want to slowly stir. You want to get the flour taste out. I know that may sound crazy, but, and if you see any lumps, just mash them. Mash the lumps out. This only takes a couple of minutes. I mean, literally. And you see all those brown things in it? That's flavor. That's going to flavor your gravy. And then at the end, you taste it for salt and all. Okay, this is about as dark as I want. The longer you let the flour cook, the darker it's going to be. And you can just add your water slowly because it's going to come together real fast. See it? It'll be so good. And later on, if you put it in the bowl, like later on, it'll thicken itself up. Just add a little warm water to it in the bowl and stir it up. It's just like you just cooked it. And I'm gonna try to make it a little bit thin, because it'll thicken up while he gets home. Set that down so I can stir. See it? Just make sure there's no lumps there, and go round and round and round and round and round. And it would be pointless to taste it right now for salt or pepper. You wait till you get it to the consistency you want. See, it needs a little bit more water because it's going to thicken when you put it in the bowl. I'm going to put the rest of that in there. Okay. And I'm just going to bring that. Now this will be where you want to taste it, because you're not planning on adding any more water. See how it is? And that will thicken. That will just, and if you leave it on the eye, it will thicken right now. But I don't want it to thicken right now. I want it to thicken in the bowl. But I usually get me a spoon and get a little bit. It needs a little salt and maybe a little pepper. But it's good. Just sprinkle a little salt in it and a little pepper. Okay. Check our biscuits. Oh yeah, they're rising good. And this is done. The gravy is done. Simple, pure gravy. See? Now, we'll turn that off, and I'm going to get my bowl, and I'm going to pour my gravy up. Because I'll usually wash my skillet the time I get through with it. Alright, let me wash my. right back. I know y'all can't see me, but I'm coming back. I like to tidy up as I go so I don't have so much to do. And you won't have a lot of dishes to wash. I know most time when y'all see my videos afterwards, you'll see that everything's in a bowl with a lid on it. That's because I washed the dish I used. And that's what I'm doing now. Washing my skillet, making sure there's nothing on it. And I'm going to take this gravy bowl and get it out. The one I had my flour mixture in. And it's going to become my squash bowl. So I can wash the pot out. We're waiting on the biscuits and we will finalize our meal. Okay. And I usually set a small saucer out on the counter so as not to burn my counter up. I'm going to put some of this rice in a bowl just for presentation, although Betty will eat it. So. See, nice fluffy rice. Well, live TV, I had to get that up. And this is, Albert will stick butter on this and just eat that. Okay, and there again, we're just waiting on our biscuits to come out of the oven. And they have risen. So I'm going to move y'all back over here. So when the biscuits come out, the meal will be finalized. So, straighten my legs out of my tripod, put it up here. I think y'all can see it all. There you go. See, our meal is coming together. I usually leave the salt and pepper out. And put stuff up where it goes, back where it goes. Everything has a place, and a place everything must go. I keep my dishcloths that I wash with in fresh dishwater that I change out 2 or 3 times a day. And just sort of wipe down as I go. And then when I turn this off, I wipe down with the towel, because I change the towel out at the end of each afternoon. And get a fresh towel. Every day when Albert comes in, Albert puts a load of towels on. It's usually like 5 or 6 towels I've used to clean messes and stuff up. So. Okay. And there again, we're just waiting on biscuits. And I don't know if you can see from there, but I don't think you can, but they're looking good. Let me check the bottoms. They look like they're getting close to time. to done, and we will be finished with our meal. Nope, need about 3 or 4 more minutes. Okay. Just set a couple minute timer. But this is usually how I prepare my meals every day, to get everything together. And I know this has been a really long video. It's on 50 minutes, but everyone's been asking me how I prepare my meal, so I thought I would share the entire meal with y'all. An entire meal, and I know it's kind of long and y'all are not going to be interested to watch it that much. So, but hopefully you will, and I hope so, because once our channel gets up and going, hopefully we can help more animals and even people, is what I'm in hopes to. I would absolutely love that. Right now we help some, but not as much as we'd like to help, so. Let me check on these, because they cook really fast. You would be amazed. Okay. And you just have to keep an eye on them. And then Albert loves Kool-Aid, so I usually keep one here, and he usually picks out. I've already made Kool-Aid. He wanted cherry. I made it earlier this morning. So he loves Kool-Aid. So I made cherry when I got up because he had done drunk all the strawberry he had, and whatever flavor he has laid out is whatever I cook. Whatever I make. I didn't cook it. So please forgive me. And there again, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. I mean, I'm doing my best. I'm kind of new at this. I'm usually a behind the scenes person who usually gets stuff done, and no one usually sees it. So that's what I'm trying. I'm trying my best to do this. And I'm not a shy person. I really don't give a crap what I say or do. I mean, I am me. If you don't like me, don't like me. So, but for some odd reason or another, I've gotten kind of shy on this, which is kind of weird. And I'll show you if you can see my gravy, how thickened it's got. See? And it looks really good. It smells really good. And like I said, it doesn't matter. I use pork bouillon sometimes. I use beef. Beef is just what I just so happen to grab today, because it all in gravy, it pretty much, you know. Turkey gravy tastes different. Turkey gravy is the only one that actually tastes a lot different. So my biscuits are going to be out soon. I'm going to put that there so y'all can see them. They should be about ready to come out, and we will end this. And I will end y'all's suffering. Yep, they're ready to go on top. Now I'm putting them on broil, which you have to be really careful about because they will really burn up fast. Washing my hands again, just to be washing them. I do it a million times. I don't like no one's dirty cooking, so I'm sure no one likes my dirty cooking too, if that makes sense. So, and I'm not going to be dirty. I'm not going to eat dirty cooking, and I'm not going to cook dirty for people. And there's our squash and onions. If you can see, they're just fork tender, not falling apart. So, and of course, you saw our cube steak. So it's done, and I steamed rice. I just sprinkle pepper on it because that's how he eats it. So. All right, they're just about done. And we'll have put this whole meal together in 53 minutes, which if you weren't filming it, I probably could have put this together probably in 25, 30, because I would have been frying the steak while I made the biscuits, and when the steak got done, I made the gravy and I threw the squash on while I was doing all of that. So, but that's just how I do, and I wanted to take my time so y'all could see everything I was doing the best you can. And there again, I am doing my best. So biscuits are just about done. Just a little bit more. We like them brown. So, and then I will come back in here and I'll put everything in after the oven cools off, I'll cover up all the bowls and I'll put the steak and the biscuits in the oven. So, all right, biscuits are out. All right, now see if I can show you the meal without dropping you. That's the entire meal that we cooked together. Here's your biscuits. Here's your steak. Here's your squash and onions. Here's your rice, and there's your gravy. All right, I appreciate y'all so much for being patient with me. I'm really trying to do my best, and I would like to make this make it a great channel for everybody to enjoy, I guess. So if you have any questions or comments, please do. Thank you. Bye-bye.